powerlessness is I think for me, it was the acceptance of the end of the line of my ability to control my life. That powerlessness for me became a real sense of what does it mean to surrender, but what does it mean to find myself in a position where what I had in and of my own being was not sufficient. I think for most people, because they don't want to give up, I think we're born with that, competitive desire to win, to be, to do, to, whatever. And so I think for most people, that sense of powerlessness has to be there in order to surrender. Because otherwise, we just do it on our own. It's like, you know what, God, I love you, I believe in you, but you know what, I can handle this. And when you come face to face with that sense of powerlessness, you realize that in and of yourself, you're just not capable of making a change.
I'm powerless over everything. I'm powerless over a relationship with God. Doesn't mean He's not available, but it's Him that connects with me. And I can't make those things happen. I'm powerless to change my behavior. And that's the beauty of back to silence. It's the beauty of silence and allowing Christ to form my heart. Because then, instead of like trying to white knuckle changing my behavior, I just realize as I just stay with Christ and stay in that grace, that all of a sudden behaviors have changed. So powerlessness, yeah, I would be a train wreck without Him. And it's through my desperate need for Him that I have a life today.
You have to start with a very, very simple, I can't do this. I don't know who's going to do this, but I'm going to give up on self-reliance. And that sort of giving up on self-reliance is painful, difficult, but there's a sense of being connected to something really powerful, and that's really empowering. I don't feel nearly so vulnerable and helpless when I know that there is a power that's both benevolent and on my side here. One of my deepest convictions is that that sort of simple, painful recognition of the obvious is something that God honors, that God pays attention when people come to the end of their own resources. And sort of the opposite of all our expectations is that when we're in that painful place, that God would draw near in those kinds of times.
I think power is about trying to stand in a place and say there's security in the things that I've built. And I think the way that God always relates is that power is always relational. And it's not about this kind of sense of over and against. It's about things that are broken and broken open, right? And so this is why this great paradox about loving your life and losing it, about things being dead and then things emerging out of that in resurrection. This paradoxes that we live in. And so the invitation to life, recovery, depth, this out of your belly will flow rivers of living water life is in a place of pain when things are falling apart and there's just parched ground. And you realize, how am I going to do this? This is not magic.
We're these beaten, broken down folks who pretty messed up, show up find God's giving a party in our honor, and at first it just feels wrong. It feels like there should be a rack here. There should be punishment or something. And here's party, and not just any old party. It's a party where we're honored guests, kind of really important people to have at the table. And I don't know anybody that gets that right away. I think you get it a little bit at a time, and that's the deal. That's what spiritual practices help us do, is learn little by little that it's okay for God to be who God really is, to be a loving, graceful, kind, compassionate God. And takes us a while, it takes us a while. It's okay.